Hey everybody, Justin Queen here with Fish Ohio Outfitters. Today we're tying up some flies for smallmouth. All right, so we're here today at Fish Ohio Outfitters headquarters, and we're gonna tie up a couple of smallmouth flies. The first one I'm gonna do is a fly that literally everyone knows. This is a Clouser Minnow, but I'm not tying it with bucktail. We're gonna do a craft fur Clouser using Nightmare Musky Flies, flashy craft fur in pink and yellow. I've got an SL11-3H Gamakatsu hook, size 2, already loaded up in the vise. I've got some Bullseyes from Hairline Dubbin. This is the smaller of the two sizes that they offer. And some 150 denier gel spun thread already loaded up in my bobbin. So I'm just gonna start by dressing the front side of this hook with a little bit of thread. And we're going to attach our Bullseyes, and we want to attach them to the top of the shank. We want this fly to actually ride inverted. So we're going to go just a little bit back from the eye, about 1.5 eye widths back. And we're just going to make some nice X wraps. And then we want to straighten those up and make sure that they're nice and even. Like so. And then they call them, I guess, figure 4 wraps. So I'm going to go over the eye, under the shank, over the eye, and then under the shank. And I'm going to do a few of those. And it's gel spun thread, and so yes, it's going to be slippery at first. And then I'm going to reef down, and then I'm going to come around and like do some parachute type wraps, and then really cinch down tight on those eyes. And that locks them in there tight enough to get them secure enough to tie around. And then just to be safe, I'm going to tag right in between those eyes with just a little bit of super glue to give them just a little bit of extra stability. Now, we're going to advance our thread back forward. And I'm going to cut off. Now remember that this is the bottom of the fly, okay? Not the top. I'm going to cut off a little bit of my flashy craft fur here. And just like with the big bird, we want to be careful not to get a whole bunch of underfluff mixed in with our longer fibers. So I want that to be about double the length of the hook. Right about there looks good to me. I'm going to cut those butt ends off nice and flush. And I'm going to lay the material ever so slightly off to the side. And then I'm going to catch it and cinch down. And then I'm going to take that material, I'm going to pull it directly over the eyes. And cinch down nice and tight until I've got my tail coming right off the back of the fly, like so, okay? Now, I'm gonna make spiraling wraps going back, and then I'm gonna make spiraling wraps coming forward, right there. And then just to be safe and make sure that I don't lose any material, I'm just gonna take my glue and glue those wraps right into the material, and that's not going anywhere. Now we're going to invert our vise, and we're going to reach in and grab our pink flashy craft fur. And you want the overwing of this fly to be just a little denser than the underneath side. Let me find a good starting point on my craft fur here. I just use the points of my scissors to kind of dig down into it. And then normally I cut this stuff into strips, but this one is actually brand new and I haven't done that yet. And I cut a little free. And then once again, we're going to get that out of the way, and I'm just going to preen out all of that under fur. Now we want it to be roughly the same length. as before. So once again, I'm going to come in front. I'm going to lay the material on the top of the, or kind of to the side rather, and then I'm going to reef tight, and then what happens is my thread tension actually rolls it right onto the top of the fly. So I'm going to take those, preen them back. And I'm going to pinch that material in the front, cut it off. And then all I want to do is just sweep this stuff back so that I have it out of my way. And I'm going to build up a nice little thread head. And we're going to put in a whip finish. And I know I see that material sticking out from the eye. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to deal with that here in just a moment. One whip finish, then I'll actually go in and just go ahead and, for the sake of peace of mind, I'm going to put in a second whip finish. Cinch down nice and tight. We're using 150 denier gel spun, so I'm not worried about it breaking. And, well, I forgot my lighter. Shame on me. But that is a craft fur clouser. I'm going to put a little bit of resin or super glue on those thread wraps when I'm done, but I don't know how well you can see, but the overwing of this fly is just a little denser, two-tone in pink and yellow. If you ever go to Florida and you're fishing the Everglades for peacock bass, this is a fly that you need to have in your box. They will not leave these things alone. It moves really nice in the water. It sheds water really fast. And yeah, they foul up a little bit, but you keep a comb in your pocket and you give them a comb out every once in a while, and you won't have any issues. But there it is, craft fur clouser. Take them out, fish them, and catch some smallmouth, and if you're in South Florida, some peacock bass. Have a good one.